Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter, David, and Shane. David, welcome back to the videos.
Woo!
Not woo.
Yahoo.
Yahoo!
We got a bit of a slower amount of cards today, but some very powerful ones. A couple different mythics, a lot of legendary creatures. So let's just go ahead and just jump straight into the cards they announced. Starting with an enchantment. This enchantment is called Sigarda's Splendor. Sigarda's Splendor is 2 and 2 white. It says, as it enters the battlefield, note your life total. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total for Sigarda's Splendor. Then, note your life total. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. This is a bomb.
Pretty cool, dude. I like it.
What white life gain didn't have? Card draw. Why not?
You're saying the mono white life gain is going to be even better than it is?
I am saying that.
Huh. Crazy.
I don't know how I feel. I feel like
Why?
for 4
I
mana,
know.
like I get that, yeah, this is going to draw you cards. I feel like this is definitely a commander focus card.
Yeah.
You run a 2 of in standard or something?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a 4-drop. If you're playing the life gain decks, like, this probably isn't what you want on turn 4.
Yeah, but this also gains you life every time you cast a white spell.
Yeah. And I mean, it does draw you a card. I'm not arguing that this thing isn't powerful. I'm just arguing that those decks tend to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, and this is kind of slow.
Well, you've got the cleric class as well that's been going around. That's a little slow too. That's an enchantment that sits there, gains you extra life.
We'll see. It definitely
Pretty cool.
is heavy, but
Yeah, I think this goes into a life gain commander deck for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah, life gain 100%. I don't actually think you even need it to be in life gain because the card itself will draw you, or I'm sorry, it'll gain you life. So just like any mono white.
True. But that also incentivizes, if you're just running this, that incentivizes your opponents to attack you.
True.
Why would I want them to draw? I like how it also says note your life total. Like, hey, remember.
You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about this a little bit more for EDH, I'm not sure if I like this card because it does kind of put a target on your back. So long as your opponents are pummeling you, you're not drawing cards.
Why I specifically said to put it in a life game.
I mean, even in
your
a...
health, yeah, because your health has to be equal or better, and if you're gaining life, fucking who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just look at it from the point that, like, if this is sitting across the table from me, I'm probably attacking that player.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I'm going to get this card and put it in my life gain deck that I made all by myself.
I'm so proud of you, kid.
I know. I didn't copy anybody.
Yeah, you totally didn't. You didn't copy anybody at all, huh?
Nope, not me.
Little
Speaking
explanation
of...
here for the viewers, though, is that I had a deck. I had a life gain deck, and then he goes off and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna build this commander," and then he sits down literally with a copy of the deck that I had already built, and I was like, "Dude, if you wanted to play this, why not just, I don't know, ask to borrow it?"
Yeah, I forgot.
Smarty. All right, let's move on to the next card.
If we're talking about EDH, let's talk about some legendary creatures, but we're not going to get too in-depth until our commander videos. But let's talk about the creatures they announced. The first one is Slogurk, the Overslime. Slogurk is 1, a green and a blue, for a 3/3. It has trample. It says whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on Slogurk. Remove 3 1/1 counters from Slogurk. Return it to its owner's hand. And it also says when it leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand.
Interesting.
Very weird to build upon.
There are very, very few sack lands currently in standard, right?
And once
Rotation.
Once rotation happens, Fabled Passage is gone, so you just have Evolving Wilds.
Well, we're gonna get the Field of Ruin, so that'll be another one that I guess can go into your graveyard. And I guess any of the man lands. I think I'm forgetting something here.
I remember.
I can't think of anything. I just know Evolving Wilds is like kind of the only ramp land.
All right, maybe this is a plant. You heard it here. It's confirmed. Kamigawa has fetch lands.
I don't doubt that for a second, man.
That'd be sick as fuck.
No, they're never doing that.
You never know.
Mark your own words. Anyways, what do you think about this overall as a card?
It's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I like
Very
it.
specific.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be cool in more of a command setting. I mean, it's a 3/3 for 3. That's always good with trample. So the stats are there.
So like it gets bigger, it can kind of pseudo protect itself, and then it'll bounce itself back to your hand.
By shrinking.
Yeah, by shrinking. I mean, it gets
don't
those lands back that ended up in the graveyard, so it kind of like self fuels itself. I don't think I'm super impressed. At least not in standard. In Commander, I can see some stuff that you can do with this that might be fun. But then again, you're playing Simic. You're playing the most powerful color combination. So go play something else.
What do we think about the alternate art?
Oh, I like it.
I think both artworks are actually pretty dope. Having the ship in the middle of both.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The OG art looks more like a hand, and then the alternate looks just like a pile of ooze. I like it.
Pile of ooze, dude. The Overslime.
It's getting eaten.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We have a Lier. Lier, Pants on Fire. It's Lier, Disciple of the Drowned. It costs 3 and 2 blue for a 3/4. It says spells can't be countered. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to that card's mana cost.
That's nuts.
Crazy enough, a legendary blue card that hates counters.
I think I love this.
That's nuts, dude.
So here you go. This is a mono blue legendary that like you're not running any counter spells in. This is hilarious.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Mono blue, no counter.
That's I don't know how to feel.
I think
It's like
this
nuts, but
I think this could be phenomenal in like a combo style deck where you throw this down to help protect your combo because now your opponent can't counter. So it's an extra shield that you can throw up to mess with your opponents. I think this card is hilarious.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
I didn't even realize it had a second line of text on it. I completely zoned out of that first one. No, dude, this card is nutty, dude.
That's
So
what I was
all of
saying.
your
It's nuts
second-
about, dude.
Yeah, all of your spells have the ability to basically be cast twice since they have flashback. Dude, I love this thing.
Yeah, she is a liar.
There were cards yesterday spoiled that really cared about when things leave your graveyard too. I remember.
What do we think of the alternate art on this card?
Whoa, it's creepy.
Looks like Dr. Doom.
Kind of like the
Dr.
original
Doom.
first. Like the
Yeah,
original
the
one better,
original was
but
way better.
Yeah, I like the original more as well.
But again, we're going to be talking about more in depth when our commander videos come out. So I'm a fan of this card too. I think it's really cool that blue doesn't like counters. Let's move on to Vadrik, Astral Archmage. Vadrik is 1, a blue, and a red for a 1/2 legendary creature human wizard. It says if it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as he enters the battlefield. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost X less, where X is Vadrik's power. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a 1/1 counter on Vadrik.
I can only imagine that there is like a storm deck that is getting ready to end up hitting standard. But you just like quickly pump this guy. Like one of the like red mana target creature gets +3 something until end of turn. And all your spells from that point on are going to cost 4 less.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
I think, yeah, just make this bigger. I don't even think you need to do the day and night thing. Just make it bigger.
Well, I mean, the day and night thing is just a way for it to fuel itself so that it just does become like permanently larger. That counter. I don't think this card even needs it to be good though.
Yep, seems pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh, it's a legendary creature too.
It is. These are pretty much all of these cards are legendary.
Oh,
They dropped some bombs today. But yeah, so this nightbound, daybound thing looks like could be a thing.
Yep, A+ on this one. He's bald and bearded. Like it.
That's you. All right, let's move on. We have a Boros legendary creature. It is Rem Karolus, Stalwart Slayer. Rem Karolus is a 2/3 for 1, a red and a white. It has flying. It has haste. It says if a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of shit on it for 3 mana.
Yes, it does.
So like Boros Burnish.
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude. Is this
You-
where you don't
you-
like it, David? 'Cause it's too strong.
I don't think it's too strong. I don't think this card is too strong. I think this card is totally fine. I don't know how many like actual legitimate burn spells would be like are going to be in standard. I saw that we have that like new pseudo lightning helix type thing that deals 2 damage with flashback. So you could throw that in this. But it actually does kind of turn into like a lightning helix.
So this also prevents combat damage, correct?
No, so that's spells. It says spell on it.
Okay.
So this is specifically only things that are going to be like, I don't know. It's a spell, so it's not a permanent. If you swing in with this and your opponent blocks it, it's just going to happen to like block like normal.
Got it. Yeah, I think still nuts though. It's if this is on, I don't want to get into too commander-ish, but this is on the field. Your opponents deal 1 extra damage to each other.
That's really not much, and that's once again only spells.
Yeah. I don't know. I think again, it's really tough to really analyze these cards when it comes to EDH because we are EDH players, and I really want to wait for our commander grade videos. So
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm not saying about this one.
as far as standard goes, it's okay.
Seems good. Seems good.
If burn can get there, if there's enough cards like a critical mass of it, then this card could be cool. But if there's not that critical mass, I don't see this as playable.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next one. This is a flip legendary creature.
Whoa.
The first part is Ludevic, Necrogenius. He costs 1 blue and 1 black for a 2/3. It says whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, mill a card. You can also play X 2 blue and 2 black, exile X creature cards from your graveyard, transform him. X can't be 0, activate only as a sorcery. When he's transformed, he turns into Olag, Ludevic's Hubris. He's a 4/4. He turns into a zombie. He also says, as this permanent transforms into Olag, it becomes a copy of one of the exiled cards, except it's still Olag. It has a base power and toughness 4/4, and it's a black and blue legendary zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Put a 1/1 counter on it for each card exiled this way.
I
Dude,
feel
the
like you
card
just
is fucked.
read me a novel, dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot of text.
It's a lot. Look how fucked the art is. It's like a horse with knives for legs.
It's a centipede.
On
Yeah.
top of it. Dude, what the fuck?
He is a
I don't know how to judge this card.
genius.
I'll judge it for you.
It seems
hate
good
it.
for 2 mana. No, it seems good for 2 mana. Seems like it does a lot of stuff for 2 mana, David.
Oh, but it's not just 2 mana though, because you have to pay
Well, yeah, eventually down the
X
road.
and 4 more.
Down
Yeah,
the road, yeah.
and you hate legendary creatures with X.
No. As the commander, and that's not in the fucking casting cost.
So, like, whenever you drop this thing in the early game, you're gonna drop it as just a 2 mana 2/3.
Yeah.
And then I guess it has an ability that might do something for you later on.
Well, no, think of when it enters and when you attack, you're self-milling, which you asked about self-milling the other day.
Yeah, but the self mill that I was looking at wasn't in blue black; it was in green black, which there could be an overlap for like limited environments.
Could be a thing.
What do you think of this
What?
other artwork?
I hate that a lot, actually.
It's nowhere
Very-
near as creepy.
It's very the exact same, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not like creepy.
I'm a zombie now.
Hi, birdie.
I'm a zombie now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of this. I think that exile X creature cards is cool, and it gets the ability as a 4/4. But man, that's gonna be expensive.
I mean, you're nuking your graveyard to make a big fatty. I don't know if that's ever something that I want to do.
I feel like someone can figure out how to use this card. Because, like, what if you grabbed a relevant card that has a relevant text that you wanted back on the plane?
Oh,
Or not on the field?
you absolutely can, but at that point you're paying 5 for the ability. You're not going crazy and
Yeah,
dumping
no,
a ton of mana.
When one creature, you get a +1/+1, and it has a crazy ability that you wanted from your graveyard back in your hand or back on
Yeah.
the field.
I think that's what you're gonna do like 90% of the time, because is exiling like another creature out of your graveyard really worth a +1/+1 counter?
Probably not.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're playing mill, you're probably, or like self mill, you're probably wanting to recur those creatures to reanimate them somehow.
Right.
True. Let's move on to another legendary creature. This is Katilda, Dawnhart Headwitch. Katilda costs 1 green and 1 white for a 1/1. It's a legendary creature human warlock. It's got protection from werewolves. Each human you control has tap, add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. And it also has pay 4 a green and a white and tap it, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. A lot of specifics in that card.
It's like humans now are dorks? Like, what the fuck, dude? Not elves?
Turns all humans into dorks.
I don't know about that. Dave was going to say it's great, right?
I think this might be the best card we've seen so far today.
Yeah.
So
Splendid.
protection from werewolves, literally don't care about whatsoever. That'll be fine. Just like probably only in limited, because I'm of the opinion that werewolves is not going to be an actual standard deck. There might be 1 or 2 that see play, but I'm not expecting the tribal deck to be running around.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Having all of your humans tap to generate mana is insane. I think you're going to be able to activate her ability pretty reliably, very, very quickly.
I agree with you completely. It's pretty wild. I like it too, but I don't want to discuss it for EDH. I like it in standard.
I'm not even discussing it for EDH. I think this card is bonkers just in standard too.
I agree. What do you think, Shane?
I think it's cool.
You guys want to see what the other art looks like?
Sure. I mean, look at it like this. This thing is a human too, and it doesn't say other humans. It says each human. So like, this is a mana dork as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty sick art.
I like both of the artworks on this one.
They're very similar.
It's pretty. I like them.
All right, let's move on. Next up, we have another mythic. This is Sigardian Savior. Sigardian Savior is 3 and 2 white for a 3/3. It's a creature angel. It has flying. It says when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, return up to 2 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Okay.
That's it. What you
Seems
think?
seems good in limited.
I think this is significantly better in constructed.
Why?
Because in limited, technically, I mean, the mana value 2 or less creatures that you're playing in limited are probably just like bears with marginal upside. Versus if you're playing this in a constructed deck, you might actually have like legitimate targets that you want to be able to bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some bombs for 2 mana value or less that you can just bring back instantly.
It's like 5 mana for what's the max of like a power and toughness? Maybe like, is it 7 again, you think?
What do you mean?
Remember yesterday or 2 days ago? You can pay 5, you get like 7 worth of power. I can get 7 worth of power.
Oh, right.
Are you talking about with the additional creatures that this thing brings back?
Yeah.
You probably do better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 mana 3/1s now. And we saw that white one from yesterday was a 2 mana 3/2. Or 2/3.
The 3/1,
3/2.
2 mana 3/1s have existed for a very long time. That 3/2 is a bit buffed.
Yeah, I read it's the first time they've ever printed anything for white that's 2 mana 3/2.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, it just seems good then.
I think it's pretty good.
I wish. No, I don't wish. I don't know why, but I look at this card and I immediately think that this thing should have flash as well. But
Dude,
that's
you're starting to
just
sound like a
going
wizard
nutty.
playtester, dude. The next card I want to talk about, I think, is up your alley, David. It's a black card. It's called Slaughter Specialist. It's 1 and a black for a 3/3. It's a creature vampire warrior. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a 1/1 counter on Slaughter Specialist. What you think, Dave?
I want you guys to go first.
I think this is up your alley because you
It's
love killing.
Yeah. I think
This
it's
is 2 mana
overstated.
3/3. First off,
It's
Jesus Christ.
overstated. You get a 1/1 to your opponent who gives a fuck. And it
Yo.
grows whenever somebody dies. Like, that's nuts.
Y'all just think I like this because it's a black card that likes killing shit.
No, it's extremely aggressively statted.
So they get a 1/1, which chances are will probably chump this for a turn. And then this becomes a 4/4 that you invested 2 mana in.
Yep.
It's a pretty good card. I don't know how much I like it. I feel like if you're on the play in an aggressive deck, this card is pretty good. If you're on the draw, giving your opponent that additional blocker is kind of giving them an additional turn. So in this case, like, is this 3/3 better than a 3/1? Because they're going to
yes.
be pushing for the same amount of damage.
But you have that extra toughness.
Yeah, but that extra toughness is really not going to matter whenever my opponent counts to 5 and board wipes.
Well, you're
I
already
mean,
putting situations on like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
just look at it like
sure.
this is. Well, this is going to slot into an aggro deck, and I mean, is this going to actually like be able to speed up my clock at all? And especially if it is going to provide my opponent with a jump, I don't know.
I think it's a very, very, very good card. We've already seen from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms how good the 2 green mana 3/3 werewolf is.
That is
This
just
is-
a straight up 2 mana 3/3. This is a 2 mana 3/3 that gives your opponent something.
Yeah, and you also gain more counters every time something an opponent controls dies. If you're running black, you're going to be running kill spells.
I was gonna say, if we're gonna play your what if game, dude, we have removal.
Your,
Like, what
I
the
was going to
fuck?
say your opponent does too, though.
Okay.
So, and I mean, you could end up with the situation where you spent 2 mana to give your opponent a 1/1, and they just nuked this thing.
I mean,
That's just magic, dude. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
I think it's a great card design.
I don't know.
That
I
is
just look at
awesome.
this like there's some upside and some downside, and I'm not sure if it balances out.
I think it does.
Okay.
Final card we're talking about. Teferi is back. We have Teferi, who slows the sunset. I think that's an awesome name. Teferi costs 2, a white, and a blue. Starts with 4 loyalty. It has a +1 that says choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap the chosen permanents you control. Tap the chosen permanents you don't control. You gain 2 life. It also has a -2 ability that says look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And its ultimate at a -7, it says you get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step.
Yep.
Thoughts the new Teferi?
I hate this card.
Why?
I understand that planeswalkers are typically like pushed in an attempt to sell packs. I really don't like the design of this card. I think that this card is stupidly pushed, but it's a card that like it wins you the game, but it doesn't say it wins you the game on it. What it does is it says we're going to turn this into a like 30-minute slugfest where you're going to try and do something, and I'm just going to sit back and like not have you do it for forever until eventually I win.
Sounds like it's a fairy card, dude.
I don't think it's as good as the other Teferis.
Yeah, it's good.
I also
So
want
whenever
to
you're
point out.
saying
Go ahead.
whenever you're saying the other Teferias, are you referring to the 3 mana and the 5 mana? Or are you referring to the mono blue one that we got?
The most recent, I would say.
To the mono blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think this card is very powerful. I mean, look,
Oh, it is 100%.
on its +1, you're tripping your opponent up on mana. If they have some artifact in play, or if they're playing artifact creatures, then they're super screwed. And you're also slowing them down from being able to either hurt you or being able to hurt Teferi. So you're kind of eliminating their threat. He's protecting himself in the process. His -2 is dope. You're getting some card filtering for it. And then his -7, I feel like, is going to be really easy to hit. And then once you do hit it, you're just going to lock your opponent out because you're just going to be... You have access to so many resources. You have access to considerably more mana. You're drawing a card whenever now they're going to be during their draw step. So like you're doubling your draw. I don't like this card. I feel like this is a card that like whenever it drops, your opponent needs to have an answer for it, or you need to have an answer for it immediately, or it's a game loss.
I mean, you don't, it's going to be
pretty
immediate.
cool.
You have turns. Like it's an ult. Most ults are pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but this prevents like my counter argument here being is that like it's going to prevent you from hurting him. If you're loading this up in like a control shell, which if you're playing blue-white traditionally, you're probably playing in a control shell. Your opponent is now tapping down. If they have this, they're now tapping down your biggest creature and your mana production.
Well, you're just picking one though.
You're choosing up to one.
Yeah.
You're choosing all. You're choosing one artifact, one creature, one land.
You're doing all three of those.
Now, it could be all of your opponents, or it could be your stuff.
I mean, it says up to, so you're not probably going to tap down your own creature, your own land, or your own artifact. So if they don't even have an artifact, like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, you can.
Yeah, you untap your stuff, and then
tap theirs
you
in
can
game.
Tap their stuff.
I still think you're tapping your opponent's land down to their biggest threat most times.
100%.
Because like what? You're going to drop this on turn 4, you tap down your opponent's land, like depending on which turn they started, they're now sitting at either like 4 or 3 mana.
It doesn't say it doesn't untap. So you're tapping it down just on your turn.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not that powerful. Because you're tapping down, like I mean, if you use the mana, you untap your land so you can use it again. And then maybe if you're using a mana rock, you untap your mana rock. I don't know. I don't think choosing your opponent's stuff is that powerful. Besides the creature, if you want to attack, but then you're also leaving Teferi without a blocker if you're attacking.
All right, yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but my brain was going to the untap. This kind of gives one of your things pseudo vigilance at least, so like it still does help to protect him.
Yeah.
Still don't like the card. I don't.
Can we just talk about Teferi artwork? Is he ever going to have anything that looks like a new art? Like, he always is in the exact same pose on every card.
It's Teferi, dude.
Why?
What do you want, bruh?
I want him to do something different.
Look, he's doing something different in that alternate art, dude. He's like
the alternate art
playing with the moon or something.
It looks the exact same as the other alternate art, dude.
No, it doesn't, dude. It's not like he's standing in the middle of it holding a staff with a ring of blue around him.
Totally different, dude.
It's all different. We're all different from here. You're right. Sorry.
I mean, you see the clouds in the background, dude?
Yeah. And his shoulders are obviously tilted in opposite directions.
I think he trimmed his beard up a little bit. I don't know what your problem is, Hunter.
Well, that was it. That's the spoilers they gave us today. Do you have a favorite?
I do.
What's your favorite?
I think that my favorite is probably... it's got to be Lier, Disciple of the Drowned. Spells can't be countered. It's just way too sweet.
Oh, yeah, that guy was sick.
Yeah, it is a pretty sick card. And again, we will be talking about that when we do our Commander Grade videos. My favorite actually is the first card we talked about, just because I'm a big fan of life gain.
Uh-huh.
And white card draw. Pretty dope.
Yeah, I like Ludevic, dude.
Ludevic. Necrogenius.
Oh, dude. Wait, I changed. I'm tied. I forgot that we talked about Katilda. The Selesnya card, the little human. I totally forgot about her.
Yeah.
But she's forgettable.
Nah. You say that now, dude. Just wait until she ruins your standard for the next 2 years.
Okay. Mark my words.
That's the end of the video. Hope you guys liked this. Like it if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram if you want to see all the commons and uncommons also announced every day. Follow us on Twitter as well. Until next time, this is Guys That Magic. Bye.
Later.
Bye bye.